Hello everyone, it is me, Derby, and I would like to do a Stitch With Me video today. And so this is going to be a little bit different than anything I've ever done on my channel before. I wanted this to be a super relaxing, chill video. I know that this year has been stressful for all of us, and I just wanted to do something a little bit more slow pace and peaceful, and maybe you can craft with me whilst watching this, or wrap any last minute Christmas gifts, or just play it to chill and hang out with me. So today I am stitching one of the Christmas patterns that I showed you in my floss tube video. And so I chose 1983, which is the earliest year. So I think I have 3 of these, this being the first, and I'm gonna stitch one every year for the next couple of years until I work my way through them, because I think they are a lot of fun and I love vintage stuff. So this was right up my alley. I'm so happy that this was donated to my stash. So anyways, as you can see, I am done with most of Santa. So you can't tell, I'll show you in a minute, but I have done the chimney, all of Santa's body, most of his face. So I have his kind of his forehead and his hat left. I have some of his sack left and all of the goodies here. So today we're gonna work on this area and just see how far we get. So let's get started on that. Now, I am filming this like 3 days before Christmas, I want to say. And if you're watching this on the day that it's released, it will be Christmas Eve. So, Merry Christmas Eve, or if you don't celebrate Christmas, Happy Holidays. I know there are a lot of holidays for different cultures and religions around this time of year. So, Happy Holidays to everyone. Okay, so I cannot show you the whole pattern, I don't think. Something about copywriting issues and that. Even though this is pretty old, so the copyright might already be passed, but I'm not sure. I don't know the rules, so I'm gonna not show you the entire pattern. But as I said, we're kind of working on this section here. So right now I'm going to do this bit of the sack, this chunk here. It's a lot of color blocking, so it should go relatively fast. Let's see. Now I do have dogs, so if you hear little tippy tappies in the background, or if you see like a jump cut and I have to edit out their barking, please forgive me. But we have been getting a lot of deliveries. UPS, the postman, our post person is a woman, and FedEx hasn't come today though. UPS or FedEx hasn't come today, which is bizarre. Normally they come pretty early, but they're very busy. Anywho, so I might have to skip ahead a little bit so we don't get any jump scares or loud bangs or barks or anything like that, which I'm sure you'll appreciate if you're trying to relax with me. This color is super gorgeous. I love these very muted yellows, gold almost colors, like anything that is reminiscent of like mid-century time. I am loving right now. So yeah, this is one of my favorites. Look at this. Can you see these over here? This color palette. Different colors here. So gorgeous. Love them. Oops, I'm losing the floss. Anyway. Alright, so yeah, I have set this up. My setup is a little bit different because I wanted to film, and so it is different than what I'm used to, so we'll work our way through it. And you know, to be honest with you, this whole project has been very different. I'm very new to stitching. Like I said, if you watched my floss tube, you know that already. But I have started a few different projects. This one is different in so many ways. The first being that I have never stitched on linen before. So this is the first time. I'm not 100% certain that this linen is even meant to be stitched on because it is very uneven. But I know that linen is not a consistent fabric anyway, so maybe it is and I'm just being dramatic. That is a possibility. Hold on, let me count how far I'm going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. Okay, I'm going 10 over. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on, let me concentrate for this part. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come on. 9 and 10. Double check this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, okay. So as I was saying, it's a little different in many ways because I've never stitched on linen and I've also never stitched over too. So if you can't already tell, I am stitching 2 strands of floss over 2, and that is bizarre. I had a hard time getting it right for the first several days, and you know, it's fine. I'm getting used to it now, but like I said, this fabric doesn't seem to be very even as far as the spacing of the holes, which I know linen is not even weave or Aida, so that's to be expected, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's the first time I'm doing it on linen. We'll see. But also, I'm using metallic threads in some of the white spaces. Oh, my needle's not going through. And also in some of Santa's suit, the red here is metallic. I don't know if you can tell. There's metallic. Oh no, not in the beard. Where is it? Right here in the suit, there's some metallic in with the white thread or floss there, and that has been a pain in the patootie. Seriously, it's been such a pain to deal with, but you know, such is stitching. I think I'm gonna go underneath. No, I'm gonna go above. And I have had to rip or frog, as it's called in cross stitching. I have had to frog several things, including some of the metallic threads. And you know, it's just been a learning experience. I've enjoyed all of it, even the frustrating bits, because like I said, I'm learning something. The only part that is even more frustrating is that I really wanted to have it done by Christmas. And, you know, at the rate that I stitch, I definitely think I'll be able to have everything done but the border. So I think I'm going to be able to basically finish all of this bit, the main center bit of Santa. I only have a couple more days until Christmas, as I mentioned earlier. So I don't think I'll be able to get much more than that done. We'll see if I do start the border. I'm going to just want to finish the whole thing, which would be a problem because, well, not a problem, just difficult, challenging. I would be stitching day and night for the next 2 days probably, because let me show you. There's the border, which will probably go by really fast because it's just, you know, the letters are just one stitch basically, and the same with kind of the edge of the border. But these here seem very intricate, and they're quite big, as you can tell, in comparison to even what I'm doing. So I'm filling up about this much. So each of these corner bits are the same size. So to be honest with you, and with myself, I don't think that that's going to get done. But I really wish it would, because I didn't want to carry this on to next year. I wanted to finish it this year. But this whole year has not gone as planned. I intended to start making weekly videos when I posted that first floss tube video months ago. And I don't know if anyone's noticed, she says facetiously, but that didn't happen. And I haven't even finished answering the comments from that last video, and there were so many comments. I am blown away, actually, blown away with how much love I have received on that video. Honestly, it's unlike anything that I expected, and I got very overwhelmed with life at the same time as that video was receiving so much love. And it's frustrating because I had to put that on the back burner for so many months. And I just think that everyone that watched it is amazing. I mean, so nice. And I feel rude not having answered all of those comments, but I can only do what I can do. And I am going to answer them, even though it's like 6 months later. Because, yeah, I want to. I do. I want to answer them. And I have answered some people. And I sent out a couple packages to people who asked for some of the stuff I was going to donate. And I think there were even a couple more people that, because I've read every single comment, I just haven't responded. I read them as they came in. But a couple of people requested some other things, and I haven't gotten around to responding to them. So if you're one of those people, I will get back to you. Hopefully this week, because I I've slowed down in work this week. I'm kind of in vacation mode at the moment, which is nice because I've been so go, go, go all year, to be honest with you. I own my own business, so while everyone was shutting down during quarantine and everything, I was actually ramping up more so than I ever expected, and moved into an office space literally right after I posted my floss tube video, which did not help my situation in terms of keeping up with all the comments and such. Alright, so let me flip this over to finish my, what are we doing here? To finish my thread. Okay, so the back of this is a complete disaster, but I kind of like it that way. I know like some people like it to keep their backs all super neat and everything like that, and I see the value in that, but I kind of think it's oddly beautiful how messy the backs of these can get. It just reminds me of how hard I worked to create this, you know, like the chaos back here reminds me like this was hard work, even though the front side, if all goes as planned, is beautiful. You know, I don't know. Does that make any sense? Is that weird? Probably, but we're just gonna roll with it. So let me mark off on my pattern what I've just done. Let's see. I did this one, this row. This is gonna take just a second because I color everything in here. And I also did this entire row. Can you hear that coloring sound? That can be relaxing too. Okay, so I forgot what I was talking about, but we're gonna move on to the next color. So I'm gonna do this symbol here. This one. And use 498. This symbol I call the jelly bean. I name all the symbols because, you know, that's just how I be. And that's the jelly bean. So this here is, alright, so this is obviously 666, the red, the X. This little flower thing is one strand of 666 and one strand of this metallic red. And I should have called it M because this stands for glitter. It's not really glitter, it's metallic. But when I created this key in my brain, I'm like, oh, it's glittery because I love glitter. I'm like, oh, glitter. That's what I'm gonna call it, is the glittery color. It's not glitter. It's definitely metallic, but you know, whatever, it's fine. It's not the naming police is not gonna come and hunt me down, I promise. Anyway, got this one, DMC 498. And I'm going to start this one here. So this one's gonna kind of come up this way, and I should have done this one first so I knew where my stopping points were. I did not do that. Sometimes I don't do things in the most efficient manner. And that's fine, because this is for fun and relaxation. I really don't need to get stressed over the little things. Who needs that? Who needs that? Anyways, I totally forgot what we were talking about before, because that's just how my brain is. This year for Christmas, well, actually for Christmas Eve, I should say, I am going to my brother's house to visit him and his new wife. It'll just be us, well, my partner and me, obviously, my brother, his wife, and their kid. Well, my brother's stepkid, I should say. And that is just going to be very lovely. I haven't seen them since the pandemic started, even though they live only one town over, because obviously we're not visiting family a whole lot this year. So the last thing that I did was, oh, the fridge just kicked up. Hopefully you can't hear that, and if you can, hopefully it's not annoying. But the last thing that I did before this virus really started shutting everything down was, oops, I messed that up, was go to his wedding, which was, of all places, on a cruise. Yeah, I know, crazy, right? So before we went on this cruise, maybe like a week. So he got married in February, early February, maybe like a week before we went on this cruise. Everyone was, oh, okay, I see what I did here. Everyone was saying, oh, well, joking at this point, don't get the coronavirus, like that. And I'm so out of touch. I don't watch the news or anything like that. So I didn't even know what the coronavirus was. So I was just kind of like, oh, haha, like, you're so funny. Like, what are you talking about? Of course I'm not going to get a virus. Like, whatever. And I didn't. And they were super sanitary on the cruise. I mean, I had been on a cruise before, and I never saw anybody cleaning. I mean, obviously they did, but I didn't see it. And potentially, that was on purpose. Because, cruises are all about the experience and the guests and stuff. But on this cruise, I mean, every time I walked down a stairwell, there was someone wiping the handles or, wiping down the elevator buttons and this, that, and the next, and the door handles, everything. All the time, they were sanitizing everything. And so, but I didn't at the time get the impact of everything that was going on. But now I do. And now I think back and think, oh my gosh, I cannot believe we all went on that cruise. That's crazy. It's crazy. But we did. And my brother got married and nobody got sick. And it was fine. But, still a little nuts that we did that. Hold on, let me see where. I have to do one down here. So I don't know if I stitch in any sort of logical order. I'm not really sure. like I said, I'm pretty new to stitching. It's so much fun. I'm having such a good time learning. Sometimes the hard way. But, okay. Hold, where am I now? But honestly, I don't care if I'm stitching in any kind of professional or experienced way, as long as I am having a good time and, you know, it's getting done. It looks like Santa Claus. Half his face is missing, but that's it. Poor guy, it's not his fault. Alright, so then I have to do 3. That will get done for sure, obviously, his little face. I really think that I am going to be able to finish, like I said, the main part of Santa. I already have most of him done. You can't see, but I did get a lot of all of the bottom half of Santa, including the chimney, done. And the chimney, I gotta say, looks spectacular. All of my little stitches are, I mean, they're all they're all crossing the same direction anyways, but they just look so aligned and beautiful. Like, so good. Very much unlike all of anywhere where there's metallic thread. Thank goodness most of the metallic thread is in the fuzzies or in the snow. You can't really tell, but the snow has metallic thread. Thank goodness, because oh gosh, I'm getting cross-eyed. Hold on. Because who cares if there's texture where there's fuzz or snow? Like, I think it adds character, actually. I'm not upset about it at all. Okay. But anyone who does stitch, who is an experienced stitcher, probably looks at those bits and are like, that's not right. That's not right at all. And I look at them and I'm like, that looks kind of cool. I am not upset. Even though I can't figure it out. Can't figure out how to nicely place those metallic threads. Don't know. I'm sure somewhere out in the YouTube world, someone has made a video that would show me how to properly use them. And I have not watched it. And I should. But, you know, it's alright. Life, you know? It'll be okay. It'll be okay, everyone. Alright, let's see. What do I have going on? So like I said, I'm in a bit of vacation mode right now, which is lovely. And very excited to see my brother, exchange some Christmas gifts, and yeah, that'll be nice. Actually, his Christmas gift is not here yet. Do you hear the tippy tappies of my little dog walking on the wood floor? She is so cute. Yeah, okay. His Christmas gift is a koi according to the tracking information, going to be here tomorrow by 8 p.m. Okay, so we're gonna go back to this gorgeous color. Like I was saying, normally all of the carriers, package and mail carriers, come pretty early, like by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which is usually when the mail person comes. That's the latest. All of the packages have already been delivered, but things have been a little crazy lately, so hopefully that 8 p.m. estimate is not accurate. I mean, they tell you it'll be here by that time, not at that time, so I can't imagine that I'll be going to my brother's house after 8 p.m. It'll probably be closer to like 5 or 6 at the latest, so hopefully I get the package at the normal time. And I really probably should have gone to a brick and mortar store to buy his gifts, but I wanted a very unique, he doesn't watch my videos so I can just tell you, but I wanted a board game that you can't find at like Target or Walmart or anything like that. They're very into board games, as am I. We love board games. We're a board game family. Well, at least my brothers and I love board games. And mostly every time we get together, we play some sort of board game together. And so that is what I got him. I can't remember the name of it. Maybe it's about different, like, oh, I did that wrong. It's about different national parks. I think something like that. And my brother is a hiker. He has gone on some pretty primitive, like, hiking trails. He was gone for about a month a couple years ago doing that. He likes to, like, he hikes around the world. He goes traveling for, backpacking, I guess is what it's called. And I think that that's just so amazing. I too like to travel, but he has successfully built a life where he is able to take time off of, working in that and go for several months, a month or more at a time. I am not there yet, and I don't know that I would do backpacking. I'm pretty high maintenance, so I'm not sure about the backpacking, but let me take a sip of my water here. But I do enjoy the idea of traveling. Thankfully, my partner is not very outdoorsy. So if we went traveling together, we'd be on the same page, I think. I'm probably more outdoorsy of the two of us. But even then, I'm not very, like, I don't think I would like to sleep out in the wilderness. I have been camping before, and parts of it I love, and other parts of it not so much. So I do love being out in nature, and the campfires, and you know, the relaxation, and I don't know, the idea that you're away from all of life's modern conveniences. But not so much into sleeping in a tent or sleeping bag or anything like that. We have, well, not we, I have been to a cabin in the woods before in Georgia. Hold on, let me see where I'm at. And that was a ton of fun. I loved that. The cabin was so gorgeous. It was perfect because you're in nature, but you also have a roof over your head. And you don't have to share a bathroom with a bunch of strangers. But there was still all the camping-like things that I loved. My favorite part of, where's my hole? Hold on here. My favorite part of being at a cabin, or even camping, like the favorite part of camping is waking up and there was absolute silence and nature, all of it, just nature noises, you know, and making my coffee and just sitting outside with a book and my coffee in nature was just so fulfilling, just so soul enriching. It was so nice. I definitely want to experience that more. Sometimes I get caught up in, I mean, not sometimes, most of the time, I'm caught up in life's craziness, and I forget how enriching it is to have those peaceful moments. And I'm really trying to work on that and work on focusing on my spirituality again. And, you know, meditating and using my tarot cards and cleansing my space and my being. And I forget, you know. Okay, I think that's it. Is that it? I think we're done with this color. Hold on, I made a mistake somewhere. No, I haven't. I was just looking at the wrong thing. We're not done with this color. Yeah, so hold on, let me adjust in my seat. I've been sitting in the same position too long. So, adjusting. Okay. So, is the camera shaking? Sorry if it is. I bumped the table. So yeah, I go on living my life and get caught up in like making money and running my business, you know, all of that I push my spirituality to the side a lot. Like, it's the first thing to go, in my daily life. And that's horrible. And it feels horrible, when I think about it. So that, I think, is going to be a goal for me in the coming year, is to make that more of a priority. And we'll see how it goes. Really hoping that I can successfully accomplish that. So do you guys have any goals for the year? Do you set goals? Do you set yearly goals? I love goals and making lists. Oh no, I lost it. Lost my needle. So I love to make lists daily. I am a daily list maker. I am a list fiend. So, that movie with Lucy Hale? It's new. I think it's on, is it Netflix? It's a Netflix movie, I think. Might be a Hulu movie, but anyway, it's either Netflix or Hulu, and I forgot the name of it, but her character is like obsessed with planning and makes all these lists, and in the beginning of the movie her boyfriend says something, oh, why don't you make another list that you're never gonna finish, when I got into a fight. And it just makes me laugh because I have lists everywhere also. Not as organized as she was. She had this nice board with post-its and a whole section where her lists are in her house, as you would in a movie, because everyone in the movies are perfect. But I definitely make a lot of lists, and sometimes I'll even do something, write it on the list so I can mark it off, because that's a totally normal thing to do. Alright, I'll make sure that I'm doing this right, and I am. So I'm almost done with this color, but yeah, so I am obsessed with lists, and I do like to make goals at the beginning of the year. But one of the things I always forget to do after I've set the goal is to continue to check back in with the goal. So, I have the best of intentions. I just have not had a lot of follow through in the past. But regardless, I'm gonna try again. Try again this year with setting goals. So focusing on my spirituality is definitely going to be one of those. Making time for the things that I love to do is going to be one of those. So that includes crafting, and making videos to keep in touch with you is definitely going to be one of those. Keeping up with my training, both on skates and off skates. So if you don't know, I play roller derby. And hold on one second. Let's finish this bad boy off, and then I'll talk about roller derby, because I can talk about roller derby all day. Turn over to the perfectly imperfect back. My project. What do I do here? This is fine. under some of these threads here. She's caught some. There it goes. Oh no, I didn't mean to put it under there. Oh, there we go. Finally. Oops. And what we did. Okay, so all the rest of this area is going to be filled with the 3 symbol, which in our case for this pattern is DMC 7E21. What's this fella? Oops, come on out, buddy. Come on out. Getting him a little bit tangled, but that's okay. That's okay. Alright, so yes, I play roller derby. Not at the moment because roller derby is not in session. It wouldn't have been anyways right now because we have December off. But it has been out of session since mid-March. So that is a bummer. But I first was doing a great job of still working out and getting on my skates as much as possible and all of that. And then once we realized that this pandemic was not going away and the season pretty much got canceled, I fell off for a little bit, and then I started working out again because I was like, I need to keep it up. I need to keep up my strength and my stamina. And then I fell off again. And I haven't really been on my skates very much at all. So I need to get back on my skates because sadly I did make one of the travel teams, one of the competitive teams in my league that travels with for like actual ranks. It was the B team. So generally there are 3 divisions in the competitive roller derby sphere. We call it WIFTA. It's Women's Flat Track Roller Derby Association. It's a global organization. I would compare it to the NHL in hockey. I think hockey is the closest thing, like professional sport, to compare roller derby to. And there are like over 400 teams that are part of WIFTA. That's how big the sport is. Because everyone always asks me, like, is that a thing that still happens? And yeah, it's a pretty big deal. it's just not recognized on ESPN for some reason. But anyway, so yeah, I made the B team. So A level is the most competitive, and then you have B level, which is, you know, basically like, hey, I'm competitive and working on my skills and my experience to hopefully one day be on the A team. And then there's the C team, which would be the third tier. And then there's a fourth tier, but it's not competitive. It's just like within the league you do, it's called home teams. So it's kind of just like what it sounds like. It's people who are part of the league in our city who just want to play recreationally. I do both because I made the travel team. I did both, I guess. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do any traveling. And get to play with my team. I practiced with my team for about a month, and then the roller derby season stopped, or was put on hiatus, and then eventually got canceled officially. So that is a huge bummer. But we'll see what 2021 brings us, shall we? With all of that said, if roller derby were to start up again, like in January even, which I don't think that'll be the case, but if it were, I would not be in roller derby playing shape. So yes, I need to get back on my 8 wheels and back into my fitness so that I can hopefully ease right back into where I was, and again make a competitive team in my league. We'll see what happens. But that would be the plan. But I don't even know if we'll have, in the next year, couple years, even travel teams, because with the way everything is right now, if it doesn't even make sense to play a full contact sport, then why would it make sense to travel, for said full contact sport? So eventually, hopefully, I'll get the opportunity to travel with roller derby and play competitively. Best case scenario, it would be able to happen the second half of 2021, but that is the absolute best case scenario. But everything is still super uncertain, even though 2020 is almost over. Everything with everything, not just with roller derby. Normally for the holidays we go to California to visit my partner's family, his sister and her kids and her husband, but we didn't get to do that this year. And that's hard because we didn't really get to see them. Well, we didn't get to see them since last holiday season because what normally happens is that Russell and I go from Florida, we live in Florida, to the Los Angeles area for Christmas, and usually Christmas and New Year's, for like a full week, sometimes more. And then in the summer, they come to this coast. They go to Hilton Head, South Carolina. That's where Russell's parents live. And we go there also. So then we spend another 4 days to a week with his parents and everybody again. And all of that was canceled this year. So we didn't get to do any of it, which, you know, is the same with everybody in basically all of the world, you know, not the only one. We are not alone in that. But I don't know, not got died in there. Doesn't make it any less sad sometimes, you know? Knowing that we're not alone makes it a little easier, but it doesn't make it any less sad or important to us. So, you know, it is what it is. Got a couple of this color over here. See if we can get some of this in. We finished Santa's sack. If you can see here, we finished this whole area. So we did all this, and I went a little bit up here. So all of this, even though it was color blocking, and in this too, took an hour. Just for reference, in case you're wondering, well, how long does stitching take, or how long has it taken you to get to this point? This, it's been an hour. Multiply that by about 15, maybe 20, so 15 to 20 hours of stitching has gotten most of this, oh, can you see, most of this center bit complete, because this is all full coverage. So anyway, that's all I've done is full coverage up until this point in my stitching career. Regardless, now we're going to start working on this doll. We're gonna work on the dress. So I'm hoping today to get this doll finished. And I still have some bits here in Santa's sweater, but it has some metallic thread, which I don't want to do. I don't want to stitch with you guys because I don't do it right. I don't stitch metallic thread right. So let's just work on something that I can accomplish, which is the doll's dress. So let's work on that. And we're gonna use this blue. It's $9.95 to get started on that. So this blue actually reminds me that I am going to start 2 projects in January. So one project I'm going to start the day after Christmas, and that project is, it's a cross stitch project. Both of these are, that's what I'm talking about right now, is cross stitch. And the cross stitch that I'm gonna start. Hold on, let me see where I need to start. Am I starting here? Yes, I'm starting here. Okay. So the one that I'm starting the day after Christmas is for my friend Alex. Her birthday is, I want to say January 17th, somewhere around there. And Alex, hopefully you're not watching this. If you are, cover your ears. Because I'm about to say some spoilery things. So what I'm gonna stitch for her birthday is a alien / UFO themed cross stitch, and I have got to be honest with you. I definitely thought that it was a lot smaller of a piece than it is. So just to give you some perspective, this is a 10-inch hoop. I think it's 10 inch, right? It can't be 12. I think this is a 10 inch. And the cross stitch that I'm making her for her birthday is going to be finished in a 10-inch hoop. So, with that said, it means that it is the entire surface area of this. It's another full coverage. So I intend to get that done in a 2-week time frame, which is going to be very difficult. It's going to be very difficult, to say the least. Sorry, I'm kind of watching where I'm placing stuff. I don't know if it's gonna get done on time. I'm just hoping it gets done on time. It might be sent to her the week of her birthday instead of getting to her the week of her birthday, which I think would be fine. I'm sure she would forgive me. Anyway, she has always really liked aliens and alien stories and things. I have 2 friends that really like aliens, and her being one of them. And this cross stitch pattern has a UFO in it, and it's a UFO abducting a little person. I mean, you know, everything's little in cross stitch, even the UFO is little, but it's abducting a person. But then there's lettering in the sky, a little phrase that says, take me away, and then it has a UFO in the middle, a little person being abducted here, and then like mountains in the background and sky, and it's a full coverage, and the colors are so fun. This is one of the blues, I think, that's in there, or something similar anyway. And then the other one that I'm going to be starting on New Year's Eve, which I probably will work on only that day, and then the second half of January, is a snowflake kind of theme, like a snowflake-ish pattern, and I'm really excited about that one see where I'm at. I am very excited about that one because it is going to be my first cross stitch that does not have even, make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, it's going to be my first cross stitch that does not have any full coverage areas. So even though this one's not a full coverage, most, like all of this is full coverage, most of it is full coverage. And the other pieces that I've worked on, so just for reference, the other two cross stitch projects that I have going on are Halloween Hannah, which is similar to this. It has blank space kind of in the background and stuff, but most of it is full coverage, like the whole scene is all stitched. And then my very first project outside of my beginner kit is a Hay design, a Heaven and Earth design. So it is full coverage, but it's a story keep, it's a little one. But regardless, it's a full coverage as well. And then obviously this one. So, and the UFO, full coverage. It's actually a circle, so it'll be literally the whole scene from like the whole hoop area will be covered with the design, which I think is gonna look really cool. I think that'll be my first FFO or fully finished object. Alright, anyway, let me focus on where I'm going next with this. And the snowflake one is not a full coverage. It's, I guess it's called a sampler, if I'm not mistaken. It's what they're called when there are different motifs around the design. And so that is going to be my first cross stitch of the sort. Now, I originally thought that I would be solely into full coverage. That's why all my projects thus far are all full coverage. But I have seen some really, really cool, gorgeous sampler type things. Now the reason, tippy tap, that's my dog's little tippy taps, and I'm sure you heard my big dog snoring before. Probably hear her now. The reason I was more into the full coverage designs is because they're more my style, they're more modern-ish. Like, I don't want to say that they're more modern because I do like vintage and retro type things, but I don't like primitive things necessarily. And a lot of the samplers that I was seeing out in the world had that like primitive quality to it that I'm not necessarily into. But upon further cross-stitch exploring, I've definitely seen plenty of samplers that I actually really like and can get behind in terms of the style or themes or whatever, colors and everything. So that makes me very happy and excited to continue to explore the world of cross stitch. Because I do definitely now believe that there is something or multiple somethings for everyone. Also, I do have a friend who is a graphic designer, and we've collaborated on things like making t-shirt designs and selling those on Etsy and other stuff. And I have some cross-stitch pattern ideas that I would love to see come to life. So that might be something that we work on. You might see in the future some Derby Lane originals. Because even though I'm new to this craft, I have fully jumped in with both feet, as I do. I'm a go hard or go home kind of person. So it's not unusual. It's not unusual for me to like just become fully absorbed into something very quickly. And sometimes when I do that, things fizzle out pretty quickly. But my desire to cross stitch has not fizzled out even a little bit. In fact, I would say it's quite the opposite, which is kind of how I know that I'm gonna keep on with this for the foreseeable future. Okay, let me figure out what I'm doing here. So right now I'm currently vetting, well, not even vetting, I'm not even in the vetting stage yet. I'm just researching different cross-stitch pattern making software, and I can't really find anything conclusive in terms of what's best to use. I definitely want something that is professional level. Just because I know that I'm gonna want to like post them on my Etsy store, you know, and I'd like to know that they, regardless of anything else, will be good quality, like the colors will look good and everything. So I don't know, maybe I should invest in one of those DMC like books that have the floss in them for color matching purposes. which I probably will eventually. But what I'm saying is, oh, I don't like the way that looks. Oops. What I'm saying is that maybe I should do it sooner than later. I definitely think that will be helpful in determining even which software would be best. But if you have any suggestions, you know, help me out. Alright, so we're kind of all over the place here. I've been moving Santa around everywhere. Okay, so I think I'm gonna call it quits for the day. If there's anyone left still watching at the end of this, I think this has gone on for long enough, wouldn't you say? But maybe I will, you know, if you enjoyed this, I'll make more of these stitch with me's, and we can stitch together again sometime. For sure. It was fun, actually. Talking to you has been a lot of fun. I haven't had a whole lot of social interaction this past month, so it's been nice just to chat with you and get some stitching done. Okay, this did not go the way that I planned. Let me rethread this other one. So if you liked this, let me know. Maybe I'll come back on here and on maybe for New Year's Eve. What do you think about that? I come back on here for New Year's Eve when I start the snowflake one. Then we can get a little bit of crafting slash New Year's relaxing in together. I think that would be fun. So don't hold me to it, but that'll be the plan. Then we'll do another Stitch With Me video on New Year's Eve. So anyways, I really, really appreciate you, and I will talk to you very soon. Love you. Bye.